Have you ever had a hard time in life where everything you do seems to be wrong, and every time something seems to be going well for you, you hit a roadblock? I think that we have all experienced a similar form of this apprehension. And Joanne Kathleen Rowling, better known as J.K. Rowling, is someone who can relate to this. According to a biography written by Tejvan Pettinger on biography.com, a British biography site, copyrighted in 2004, before J.K. Rowling had published her first book, she lost her mother due to multiple sclerosis and recently became a single mother to her daughter, Jessica. It is important to relate to the difficult times in J.K. Rowling's life in order to see into her adventure of who she became. To do this, we must uncover who J.K. Rowling was before Harry Potter. Next, delve into her adventure of writing the fantastical books. And lastly, see how she handled the success of this cultural phenomenon. Gaining insight on one of the most influential writers of the last 2 decades is important because we can see how it played an effect on our society today. Joanne Rowling had a difficult upbringing, in my opinion. According to her website, jkrowling.com, copyright 2012, she was born on July 1965 in England and grew up in Chepstow, Gwent, where she went to Whittian Comprehensive School. Her biography from Pettinger says, "From an early age, J.K. Rowling had an ambition to be a writer. She often tried her hand at writing, although little came from her early efforts. At age 6, she wrote a small book about a rabbit with measles. Her mother complimented her work for being so young, and Rowling replied to her, 'Well, why don't you get it published?' She had no idea why she said this at the time. After finishing school, she ended up leaving Chepstow in order to go on and earn a French and Classics degree at Exeter University in Paris. She then moved to London, where she worked as a researcher at Amnesty International and other jobs, her website states. In December 1990, Rowling lost her mother, and she felt her loss deeply. In 1991, she got a job in Portugal as an English teacher. She met her first husband, Jorge Arantes, and the two had a daughter together named Jessica. But the relationship didn't last long because they split a few years after an argument that led to her being thrown out of the house. Now, I think that this would be a difficult time for any parent because my mom was a single mother for a short time. Little did she know at the time that the start of her first book in the acclaimed Harry Potter series would begin shortly after her mother's passing. Now, although Rowling did have a tough upbringing in my eyes, I wonder if she would ever written the books if she hadn't been through this difficult time. The first ideas in the series were conceived while she was on a train from Manchester to London. Pettinger says in his 2004 biography from biographyonline.net, "She didn't have a pen at the time, so she began thinking of ideas for different characters, and a young boy who was a wizard came to mind. So she was enthusiastic to start writing when she got home, despite how long it would take for the books to come together. In 1993, she moved back to Edinburgh, where she was hard at work trying to finish her book series, the first one known as Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. She would go to local cafes and put Jessica to sleep, and then leave and continue to write. After she finished the first book, she sent it off to numerous publishers and was rejected by 12 of them before a small publisher, Bluminger, bought the rights to publish it, and it became known as the Harry Potter Sorcerer's Stone. In 1996, the book sales started to take off, and she received a small loan from the Scottish Arts Council and was able to begin writing as a full-time job. The books were brought over to Scholastic, and they agreed to publish them in the States. And in 1998, Warner Brothers got the film rights, according to Pettinger. After the launch of the first book, it quickly became a cultural phenomenon, but it led to fame, good works, and privacy issues for Rowling. According to Pettinger on biographyonline.net, copyright 2004, media intrusion has been an issue for her ever since the release of the final books, and she seeks protection for her children. Reporters would camp outside her house in hopes to get a glimpse of her and her family. And she says in a testimony to Leveson Inquiry in 2011, "As interest in Harry Potter and myself increased, my family and I have become a target for a different kind of journalistic activity. The effect on me, my family, and myself cannot truly be overstated. We were literally driven out of our first home that we ever owned because journalists banging on the door, questioning the neighbors, and sitting in parked cars outside the gates. It is sad to see someone be forced out of their home because of fame." Now, not all of her fame because of Harry Potter has been bad. because she donates to many types of charities. She's the president of the anti-poverty charity for one-parent families, contributes money to help fund research for multiple sclerosis, and also donates to Loomis, which helps institutionalized children in Eastern Europe. Rowling now lives in Edinburgh with her husband and 3 children. As stated on her website, jkrowling.com, copyright 2012. In the end, J.K. Rowling has been through her ups and downs on her journey to fame. During this speech, we covered who J.K. Rowling was before Harry Potter and found insight on her difficult upbringing. Next, we delved into her adventure writing the fantastical books of Harry Potter. And lastly, we saw how she handled the public and profits of this series in hopes to offer insight on a cultural icon's life. Now, the next time you're having a hard day or earn a promotion or raise, just think, I could have been rejected this 12 times. I think I might go read some Harry Potter right now.